Welcome to my podcast. Hi, I'm Al, and this is Inside Sports from the driver's seat. Adventures of my past 20 plus years of being a professional motor coach operator, dealing with professional sports teams here in the city of Philadelphia. Let's talk about it. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Inside Sports. And as with always, day after an Eagles game, we're talking with my co-host, Annette McKinney out of Charleston, South Carolina. How are you, Annette?
I'm pretty good.
Good, especially after a day late. You know, we've had
Yeah.
time to calm down a little bit, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Now, over the past several weeks, we have had some what we call ugly wins.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday or Sunday, we had an extremely ugly loss. But knowing you and myself, what we've been talking about, it wasn't totally unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it was unexpected of how bad we lost. How do you think
Yeah,
about that?
that's the thing. I mean, because I didn't think that the Jets game was going to be the last game that we lost. You know, it was only one. I knew it was going to be something else down the road, but I think the reason why a lot of people are upset is not that we lost, it's the margin of how we lost. You know, the score is being out of, whack. So that was the bad part, not the fact that we lost. If it was a tight game like with the Bills, and it had to be a toss up, everybody would say, well, you guys played a good game against another good team. But that game was a blowout.
Okay, now who or what do you blame this loss on?
Well, it's really a mixture of both the offense and defense because, as we know, the first quarter, I thought, hey, this is going to be a pretty, not an easy game, but it was going to be, not a blowout for them, but it's going to be like a comfortable win at first.
Right.
Because I was like, defense is really hungry. They seemed like they came out and did whatever. I was concerned when the offense couldn't get in the end zone, because I know field goals against a team like the 49ers is not going to really win games. But I felt confident. But, just like after the first quarter, everything else went downhill on both sides. The defense didn't seem like they were tackling, and the offense didn't seem like they could do anything with the ball. So even though Jalen Hurts had all day to throw, nothing happened with any of those passes and stuff. So it's mixture on both sides. I don't know what side did, the least, but neither one of them showed up after the first quarter.
Well, you're absolutely right. Like I said, at first couple of possessions, as we talk every week, because I always ask, what do you think after the first possession? But, we went down the field a couple of times, like you said, but we didn't get into the end zone. And we actually held them to a -6 yards in the first quarter. But whatever adjustment they made, we didn't make any.
Right.
And what I saw was the offense, as far as Jalen is concerned, like you said, he had a great deal of time, but he was holding the ball too long.
Yes.
And maybe that was a combination of receivers not getting open fast enough. But in that case, then you throw the ball away. You don't take all those sacks, And you really can't blame the offensive line because they gave him time.
That's what I was saying. You've seen everybody was like man to man. I mean, I seen Kelsey and Lane Johnson. I mean, they were on it because Bosa didn't really get to Hurts at all that much, because, they were covered. So that was not the excuse. The O-line did their job because I was like, looking at, and I was at one point counting how long Jalen Hurts had the ball, and he was able to go all around. And still, by the time he decided to run, then everybody's loose. So when you hear everybody man to man, that's when I think you take off and run with the ball. He didn't do that.
Right. Now, my opinion is this game was really lost Monday and Tuesday. And I say that because Monday and Tuesday is when they put the game plan in. The players don't show up for practice until Wednesday, and then they start to implementing whatever game plan that they put in. But you take our rushing game, for instance. we had 46 yards rushing on 18 attempts, whereas the 49ers had 28 attempts for 148 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, they saw something within us that they think they can run the ball, which they
Right.
did. But I don't understand why we didn't see that. I mean, sure, they got a great defense, but you got Swift. He has 783 yards for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that should tell you something. You should be running that ball a little bit more.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Every game is not, we talk about this every week too. Every game is not, they don't start off with the running game, or they do start
Mm-hmm.
off, they don't continue it. And it's like, once again, Jalen Hurts is looking for the big numbers. I got to get the ball down. Other teams don't do that. They just take it, 10 yards because, we know we have the brotherly shove. So that's always in our back pocket. So, you run the ball 3 times or something, we're going to get close to 10 yards, if not 10 yards. And then whatever little room we have in the fourth down, but 3 and out because you're trying to get it way downfield every possession, you're going to lose games mostly all the time. And I'm surprised that we are where we at now because we do that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that's to me, that is on the coaching staff. Even though he has the I guess ability to change plays, which he does a lot, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but still as a coaching staff, you gotta let these guys know, okay, it's fine to change when you see something different. We don't see what you see out there, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, if you run, let's say you run first, get 3 yards, it's 2nd and 7. You run one more time, get 3 yards. Now you got a short yardage situation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but going straight down from the first down, by the
Yeah.
time you get to 30 down, now you might be in 30 and 11, 30, 15, depending on whether you got sacked or
Mm-hmm.
you got a penalty or something. So, another reason for the loss yesterday was extremely poor tackling.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They don't, well, you don't even call that tackling. You push somebody. Pushing is not
Yeah.
going to get somebody down. Grab them by the legs, or, hit them hard. This is like that hard hit on Swift. I mean, everybody's like, whoa, you heard them, them things hit because, it was a hard hit. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
football is about, getting that
Yeah.
person down. And I don't know what kind of tackling we do. It's soft tackling. You just pushing somebody out the way and hoping they fall or trip. No, you got to tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, the score was not indicative of how the game was played. It looked bad for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we really played a decent game as far as stats. San Francisco had 314 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
We had 314 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
The only big discrepancy was in the rushing, where they had 146 and we only have 46.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that tell you is, especially their 146 yards, that they were just running through us.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, they
It's like
push.
McCaffrey went through the hole and with force because he's not just a running back. He's just not running. He's pushing forward. I mean, he is strong. It took a lot of guys to get him down. And he's one player. So, I mean, they kept running the ball and they couldn't really stop him. He was going right down the middle. And another thing I realized is once our front four on the defense, once they get past that, they're home free because,
Mm-hmm.
our secondary is garbage. So once they get past those four, it's pretty much,
Yeah.
go into the end zone.
Now, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you've heard the news by now that Shaq Leonard did sign with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess hopefully he can come in because I guess he's at the middle linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where most of the damage was done. Like you said, once you get past that front four,
Mm-hmm.
and then you basically pretty much got 10 or 15 or 20 yards out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, do you think he's playing Sunday?
maybe a couple of plays. I'm sure that he won't be out there for any extended period of time. And I guess that's all going to go about where he was with before. I think it was Indianapolis.
Yeah, he's his coach. Yeah.
How close those plays are to what the Eagles are running as far as the defensive plays. Most of the time, players are pretty similar to each other, but it's just the terminology that he has to get used to using.
Well,
So
well, Cerrone worked. Well, he was with the Colts too, so they have some type of relation. So they
yeah,
might know a little bit from just that, them working
yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, he'll probably have a package that he will be in there. And
Hmm.
then, if depending on how the game go, they might just plug him in a little bit more and let him go off instinct
Hmm.
and with the help of the guys around him because we're
Hmm.
we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him this weekend against
Yeah.
Dallas. How do you feel about playing Dallas? Well, not playing them, but the importance of this game with Dallas this weekend.
Well, it's important. I'm not really in panic mode yet because I mean Dallas does not scare me as a team. They're winning, but like I said, the first team that even won that was over 500 was Seattle. And if you look at the game with Seattle, Seattle should have won that game. They injured themselves by not doing getting fourth and one and all that. But they had a hard time beating Seattle, and Seattle is 6-6. So and everybody else
Mm-hmm.
they have beaten has been under 500. All over 500 teams they've lost against. So they played us good in Philadelphia, and but I don't think it's going to be anything like the 49ers game. I mean, they're a basic team. Um, we was able to shut down Pollard, their running game, and only thing I look at is CeeDee Lamb can catch everything. So, the passing game might be whatever. They know they have to double team CeeDee Lamb because you shut him down. That's pretty much a lot with what they got going on. So they don't have
Mm-hmm.
as many weapons, I think, as the 49ers. And their defense didn't really do a whole lot when we played them the first time. They made a few tackles here and there. It was the norm. The score was very close on that game. It wasn't like a big deficit ever. So I think that, it's an important game for the fact that if we lose, for temporarily we go to fifth seed and they go to number one seed,
Mm-hmm.
they go to number one division for the simple fact that they'll be 4-1 in the division and we'll be 3-1. So that's we have the same record, so they have a harder schedule down the stretch. They're not going to win out, and we may win out. So I
Right.
think we'll bounce back. I'm hoping that's not the case at all. But if it is the case, I'm not panicking because I think with our schedule compared to theirs, that we will bounce back in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Now the number one seed is still out there because if we bounce back for the division, we're still looking at 49ers and and even the Lions or somebody getting to that first seed because their
Yes.
record is
Yes.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of that's why that game was a lot at stake of beating the 49ers. We would have been home
Mm-hmm.
free pretty much to me with the number one seed. Because going to second or third seed, there's no telling who we might meet in the first round.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, it was extremely important for this game, and like I said,
Hmm.
we played well. We just did not tackle,
Hmm.
and we didn't have any big plays. The 49ers had about 4 or 5 big plays of 48 yards, 33 yards,
Hmm.
23 yards, and most all of them went for scores.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
again, another product of not tackling.
And to me, like we brought the pressure on Purdy. I thought we was gonna get him shook after that first quarter. He was not shook at
Hmm.
all. Even when the times that they did pressure him after the first quarter, he still was able to get the ball off
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
into somebody's hand under pressure. So that tells you how calm and cool that he was. It seemed like Jalen Hurts on the other side when he wasn't even pressured and he was nervous. It looked like
Yeah,
what guy do?
yeah.
He's running around in circles and he's holding the ball. Purdy did not do that.
Hmm.
He stayed focused at all times, even with people coming at him, and he's focused on who the ball was going to. Jalen Hurts did not look the field. He just scrambles a lot, and he doesn't scramble and look for plays. He scrambles and he looks confused out there when he does that.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, hopefully he'll clean that up this week because,
Yeah.
like I said, Dallas defense is not of the same level as San Francisco.
Mm-mm.
And plus the fact we play them so much, we know them and know how to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen unless these guys refocus themselves this week, and that's what needs to be done. We had 23 first down. They had 24 first downs, and we had 8 for 15 third down conversion, and they had a 8 for 11, 72%. So I'm simply saying that simply because the game was not that far out of reach until we start to missing those tackles and those
Yeah.
long runs going. But we played them pretty even, except for those in which, in this case, those was a major thing because they scored on everything they was doing.
And that last touchdown that Devo Samuel made, it was like almost like they just let him just go in the end zone. It's like, we just give up. And to me, I didn't like that. I don't care. You play down to the very last second of the game until it's double zeros and you just play your hardest, just letting somebody go ahead and, well, they've already won the game, let them score and stuff. I didn't like none of that.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't like how it ended, and the fact that San Francisco, to them, it was a payback. To me, that's not a payback because that game didn't mean anything compared to the game
exactly.
last year. We went to the Super Bowl. You guys did nothing but get a win, and we still remain number one after that game. So to them, they felt good about beating us, saying we could beat you guys. It's never to me an issue if you could beat us or not. When it counted the most, you didn't beat us. That
Yeah,
Sunday, it was more of a just a letdown with the score for me because, like you said, we played them good when you look at the game. A lot of missed tackles and things, and I don't know, is a defensive coordinator after the first quarter he decided not to, rush Purdy
hmm
anymore, just kind of like do some other stuff. It just moved from one thing to another after the first quarter, and whatever they did, they didn't even try to fix it at halftime.
yeah, yeah. San Francisco made the adjustments, but we
Yes.
didn't.
Mhm.
And after the game, there was a couple, I guess, low-level officials. They were standing out there with me as the players were coming out, and they was talking to the players, and yeah, they really felt that we should have won last year because the guy was even telling. I made one comment. The guy was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna beat these guys every time." I said, "Hey, it's a game, man. That's why we play the game." He said, "No, we should have won last year, and every time we meet y'all, we're gonna beat y'all." So they was
Yeah.
talking smack.
Well, that's what football is. That's Matt talking. You don't bother me because I can talk it too.
Yeah,
But
I hear
what
you.
the worst thing about it is that I'm not saying they really proved the point, but by Purdy playing the entire game, that was their whole point. We didn't have our
hmm
quarterback. So, people might say, hey, it looks that way because that's what they were saying. If Purdy
Right.
didn't go down, you guys probably wouldn't have won that. Now that he played, but like I said, who knows about that game last year? But that was their whole point to the thing is that we didn't have a quarterback. So you don't have a quarterback.
hmm
You guys had the advantage. So, but I said the bottom line is going to get down to, the NFC championship game, who makes it there. And,
Right. Right. This is the first time since 1966 that the Eagles had allowed 6 straight scoring drive against them.
mm,
1966.
that's not the kind of history we want to make.
No, not at all. Not at all. And again, I mean, we've said it several times during this conversation. It all comes back to the failure to tackle, to wrap up guys and get them to the ground. Because
hmm
if we could have done that, who knows who would have won? But I don't think it would have been as the score has been as bad as it was.
I think the reason why that game is such a big thing now with everybody is because the Bills game, the Chiefs game, a few of those games that were really tight is like
hmm
if either team won, the conversation would have been, boy, they both gave it all. That game right there, it doesn't even seem like this is the number one team. You get beat like this. If it was a
Right.
tight game, it got down to the last minute and they won. They'd be like, hey, it's still anybody's division, but when you get beat down, it's hard to even you know, explain that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I had a young lady this morning on my Facebook saying, "Yeah, what happened to the Eagles?" She's a Dallas fan. I said the same thing that they did to y'all.
Oh yeah, and that's one good thing. Dallas had no room to talk. They got blown out just the same
Yeah,
39-10. It was like a blowout for them too.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so like, but either way, even if we get to winning the division, everything like that, if whoever has to play San Francisco, in the playoffs is going to have a rough time.
Yeah,
They're going
yeah.
to get their stuff together.
I mean, they are, I guess that you say, a well-oiled team. Coaching staffs makes adjustment when they need to,
hmm hmm
but at the same time, they are beatable as well. But you have to bring your A game there to beat these guys.
because they lost 3 games in a row at one
Yeah,
point in time, and
yeah.
they have to readjust. So there was something going on. And my thing about it is, I thought that our guys would probably be really hungry because they talk so much smack. They're coming
Hmm.
to our territory. They just didn't have the drive after the first quarter. It's just like everything went away, and just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
so gloomy after that for us.
Yeah, we didn't match their intensity after that first quarter. The first
Hmm.
quarter, it seems as if we was bringing all the intensity.
Yeah.
But again, whatever adjustment they made, we didn't. And from that point on, we had no intensity
No.
to the game, except for on the sideline when they tackle who was that Smith real hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, and then the
Yeah.
intensity was there only for a short period of time.
Yeah, that was yeah. I mean, you can get mad at how somebody tackles somebody, but that's what you want to do is tackle. That is us tackling somebody. You want to slam them down,
Hmm.
you want to hit them hard. That's how you win games. That's how you tackle. Pushing somebody ain't always gonna do the job. So you can't get mad. It looked hard, it looked bad, but this is football, and that's how you
Yeah,
tackle somebody. And Devontae Smith is lightweight, so somebody can pick him up and slam it. Yeah, to us, it's like you don't have to do all that. If you do it to your quarterback, that's a problem. But
yeah, yeah.
you know, I don't know. I mean, hey, I didn't like it because he's our player, but
Mm.
I hope we do that to another team and get them on the ground, make sure they stay on the ground.
Yeah, I mean that's what showing that intensity about being physical, letting them know that we are here, and we did not match up to that. The whole after that first quarter, we had no intensity about us whatsoever.
I do think, but I said, I'm kind of like over the game because everybody makes a big deal. We've only lost 2 games, and what are you doing? Gee, and then
What's up, Dennis?
but we like I said, he made me lose my concentration. That's what I'm saying, doing this. Um, but even with that game and everything like that, I think that the problem that we may go into Dallas, first you're going to Dallas and it's going to be loud there, just like when you come
Hmm.
to the link. But I think that if Jalen Hurts does not change his style of playing, some teams when I watch them, it seems like they can change up their playing. Okay, this ain't working, we're gonna go here. We stick to it until the end. It's like this is
Hmm.
not working. You got to change up what you're doing because Jalen Hurts, I'm telling you, he's not going to have all day to throw like that. Like the 49ers defense was not that great to me. That's why
Hmm.
I said it's going to be an offensive game because our defense ain't doing too much. Neither are they. It's going to get down
Right.
to a close score and who has the ball last to score. That didn't happen. But with the Cowboys, I think that he's going to get rid of that ball much faster. Micah
Hmm.
Parsons is going to come after him. It's not going to be even though we have Lane Johnson back and everything, but it's going to be where he's not going to be able to hold the ball that long.
Right. Right.
Get rid
Right.
of the ball, do some more short plays, short passes. I don't know why every game they keep calling get it downfield, get it downfield. You know how fast
Hmm.
3 outs can happen when you try to do
Yeah.
it and it
Yeah.
does not work, So they got to do their homework this week because they got to know going into Dallas, and Dallas has not lost this year yet. That doesn't mean they won't lose. Like I said, they haven't played anybody yet,
Right. Right.
other than
Right.
Seattle, as far as over 500 teams. And we have to just go in there and show that we want this game and what's
Yeah.
at stake. I mean, if we win, we still stay on top of San Francisco, whether they win or not. And after Dallas,
Hmm.
the rest of the schedule is pretty much we could win out pretty much.
Yeah. 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 Unless we pull a Jets game and play down to the competition
Right.
because the teams aren't as good as we know they are. So we got to guard against all of that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
I think another thing that happened this Sunday's game was you take the last 3 weeks when we came from behind. That took a lot of emotion and took a lot of
Hmm.
intensity out of the guys for it to be happening 3 weeks in a row.
Right.
And so when they came into this game, I guess that intensity just left them
Yeah.
because they have been doing it for so long, 3 or 4 weeks in a row, and you can't play emotional football like that every single week.
Yeah, that's the
It's-
thing about it. And I took that in consideration, thinking about, even though every game is different, but we were playing heavy hitters these last few weeks. It
Mhm.
seems like we've been playing like the Panthers or somebody. We've been
Right.
playing teams that are really out there, and that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And
Mm-hmm.
I said maybe that's really the reason that hey, we're tired. It's like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
know we got 17 games, but whatever. But I think that when you're playing tough teams back to back to back to back, week to week, it's gonna wear and tear on you. And I don't see the Cowboys as being one of those teams like the Bills and the Chiefs and the
Mm-hmm.
49ers. I see them mediocre. So
Right. Right.
the thing about it is, I think we've already played Dallas. We know Dallas, how they play.
Mm-hmm.
They know how we play. But I think that sometimes when I see the Eagles play, that they are so predictable on what Jalen Hurts is going to do that
Yes.
they have to switch up. I see some other teams, sometimes the quarterback gives the ball to somebody, a receiver. They just got so many tricks up their sleeve. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have anything. Everything's basic, what we do.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need some foolery out there like some other teams do. Another thing I noticed years ago that Dallas is good for doing, say they got 4th and 2 and they look like they're not going to go for it. They go off the field. Next thing you know, their punt team is doing something to run it in. They
Mm-hmm.
got all kind of slick stuff, and I've seen it so many times. We don't have anything up our sleeve that I've seen yet. That's going to
Right.
get somebody
Right.
out of guard.
And even yesterday, I've seen times in the past when it will be 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, even when we're on our side of the field, and we'll go for it.
Yeah.
But it was 4th and 2 yesterday. I think maybe we was at 35, maybe even the 40-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
and he punted. Now, does that tell your team that okay, we are scared of this guy's
Yeah.
defense?
That's
You
what
know?
I was surprised when we got off the field. I said we ain't got time to be punting because we need to score, and I was surprised about that. And that does send a message when you don't do that. It sends a
Yes.
message that I don't know about this team right here. And
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the audio, but I lost your audio for some reason. But we're gonna keep going anyway. We got about 3 minutes there, and now can you hear me? Okay. Well, hopefully, the way this thing's supposed to go is no matter if we can't hear each other now, once the recording comes, it's supposed to come through real good.
okay, I can hear you.
So, okay, now I got you back again. So I don't know what happened there. Must be something in the satellites or
Okay,
something.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm hoping that like we were saying that they was tired and they've been using all this energy, emotionally, physical, that is out the door now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, San Francisco had 10 days before they played since they
Right.
played their last game. And so that's not an excuse. I'm just simply saying we use a lot of physical, mental, and emotional energy for 3 or 4 games in a row. So by us getting the beat down that we got, hopefully that was beat out of us,
Right.
and we can come back and refocus this week and be ready for these cowgirls. I mean, cowboys.
You sound like me now. Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you, you
so,
made you made a good point because when we played the Chiefs, um, we both were on our bye and everything like
hmm
that. So get out. I don't know what he knows I'm doing this thing here. Gee.
well, I'm gonna have him on one day too about his boxing too. So let him know that
Yeah,
too.
well, he need to wait till that time. I'm doing this, and he wants to be in the camera.
But anyway, yeah, we got Dallas coming up, and then I think after that, then we got Seattle. They flexed that game to a Monday night game,
Right? Yeah.
and
And that's
hopefully
another,
we can get both of these.
Seattle's not bad of a team. I mean, when they
Right.
played, like the Cowboys, they put on a good show. So, I mean,
hmm
we can't just write that one off as a win either, because
Right. Right.
they're trying to get back into the playoffs. I don't remember what their standing is, but I know that they fell one or something with that game. But,
hmm
a lot of teams that we're about to play, has some, well, they have something to gain with the Seahawks, but the Cardinals and the Giants they do not. But those are
Right.
spoilers.
Right.
Those teams
Yeah.
like to spoil you. When they can't do anything, they like to be spoiler alerts.
Yeah. Now the only thing about the Giants game is the fact that we are divisional rivals and we know each other very well, and those games always seem to come down to the wire. So we just got to be focused and not let that happen. And
But they don't have a
because
quarterback. I mean, Jones is not playing. He's out for the rest of the year. And DeVito,
yeah,
if we can't win against DeVito, we don't have no business in the playoffs.
yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. All right, so another good 30 minutes, good conversation, and under bad circumstances because we
no.
are extremely loyal Eagles fans, but that's why they play the game. Somebody
Yeah,
got to win, somebody got to lose.
but see, my prediction was 13-4 this year. We're already on
Hmm.
track of beating that, being better than that. So everybody's like, oh, you lost 2 games. We lost 2 games. It wasn't the fact that we lost 2 games. Like I said, it's just how you lose. So how it
Hmm.
looks. But had that game been close, being 2 games to loss and still number one seed, you get, you get a good, good blessing with that. Okay, you guys played good. It's the fact that that score did not look like we were champions. That's the
Yeah, yeah,
problem with the loss.
yeah. And a lot of people are saying, "See, I told you, all those weeks they should have lost those games." But
Yeah.
hey, we won
Hmm.
them. Hey, bottom line is we won them.
That's
Bottom
right.
line is we lost this one. So it's time to
Hmm.
move on now.
Yeah. You ain't gonna change the result. So it is what it is. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Annette, thank you so much as always.
Mhm.
We look forward to next week. Hopefully, it'll be under different
I
circumstances.
know.
But until then, be good. Have a
Mhm.
productive week, and thank you so much for being my co-host on the Inside Sports from the
Okay.
driver's seat.
Talk to you later.
All right, then. All right.
Mhm.